Hey everyone, welcome in to another daily editorial here on the KE Report. I'm getting an update from Novo Resources. We're going to go around to a number of the different projects within the company's portfolio to get a broad exploration update here, all focused in Australia, and a lot of drill results to come, a lot of results that also have recently been released. I'm chatting with the executive co-chairman, Mike Spreadborough. Novo Resources is traded on the TSX under the symbol NVO, on the OTCQX under the symbol NSRPF, and on the Australian exchange under that symbol NVO. So, Mike, let's start off with the Belltopper project. August 21st, the most recent news release. We had some drill results, infill drill results. These are re-logging of some past drill holes, 11 drill holes in total. Take us through these results and, again, why you went about re-logging this past drilling.
Yeah, good to catch up again, Corey. So, as people remember, early this year we completed 6 diamond drill holes as part of a program to continue our exploration at Belltopper. We're really excited by that work, but it also gave us an indication of different mineralized zones than maybe people in the past hadn't focused on. So we have, over the last couple months, basically pulled out all of the historical core and re-walked it, and in some cases re-logged it. And then, as you've seen in the release, in some areas we've seen areas in the core that we thought should have been assayed that hadn't been done in the past. So we've done this historical re-assay infill program, and we announced that last week. And some of the results are really interesting. They support the work that we saw in the previous drill program this year. We've seen 6 meters at 4.37, which is great. High grades, 2 meters at 7.19. Some really long intersections, a bit lower grade, but it gives you excitement. 13 meters at 0.6, which also includes 1 meter at 1.92. So this is really important work. The team is now seriously focused on validating the whole geological model and the prospectivity of Belltopper. So that's really the next stage of work, and people should see a bit of an update from us on what we really think Belltopper is all about. It's been a serious piece of work for 2 years. We're still excited by what we see. Again, it's not that far away from Fosterville, which is an unbelievable high-grade gold project. So keep an eye out for the next update on Belltopper.
So, Mike, you mentioned Fosterville, and we can look at figure 1 from that news release. This Belltopper project is sandwiched between a number of different projects, Fosterville having a large resource, but a number of other large resources in the area as well. What's the play here? Does this mineralization continue on to some other projects? Is this a synergy with any of these other assets that are in this area?
I think all of those are great questions. It's in the Bendigo zone within Victoria. As you've talked about in that picture, there's been some huge gold resources found, Fosterville, the Bendigo itself, Castlemaine historically. So we are in great elephant country. Our work is fantastic. We hope it'll build up to something. The next step is, how does this all come together? And that's the work you'll see in the next couple of weeks.
So, Mike, how much money do you think the company needs to allocate to this project to build it up to a multi-million ounce resource just from how much work has already been done there now?
Oh, tough questions today, Corey. Look, in reality, we won't go back drilling in Belltopper this year. The work that we're doing now on the geological model will give us that flavour of the prospectivity and how many ounces we think might be there. So that's the work we're doing at the moment. So the first step is, let's get that work done. We'll kind of share that with everyone else. And then stage 2 will then to go back and go, well, what does the next drilling program look like to give you a pathway to the next milestone or toll gate? So a little bit more work for the remainder of this year for our team in Victoria.
Okay, let's talk about the Nunyerry North project then. This project, last time we chatted, you were going through the drill program. It was, I believe, 4,000 meters in reverse circulation drill program with a couple diamond drill holes. What updates can you give us here? When will we see some results?
So drilling program is all complete, which is great, done very safely, on budget. Great piece of work by our team there, and really great interaction with the traditional owners in the area. So that program is now complete. Assays are all in. We're just in the middle of completing the QA/QC of those assays. So people should expect to see an update from us in the next fortnight on those results. And also that'll give a flavour of where we are going to go next at Nunyerry North. But important to us, if people recall, Nunyerry North is kind of the southern area of what we call the Egina Gold Camp. And now that we've done this drilling program and it's given us some indications, you'll see us over the next 3 to 4 months start to do some more field-based activities, mapping and rock chip sampling on other targets north of Nunyerry. This has really given us an insight into that area. So you'll definitely see us do more field work over the rest of the year. And again, probably not expecting to see us back drilling in that Egina Gold Camp area this year, given that it's the end of August now, and as people know, the Pilbara gets pretty hot in November, December. We tend not to go drilling. So great results in terms of the drilling program. People will see those results next week or the next fortnight, and looking good.
Now, that program was testing multiple new targets. Can you talk to us about some of these targets, what the overall strategy was? Sounds like very discovery focused.
Yeah, definitely. So last year's drilling program focused on the central core, which was the high-grade soil results and rock chip results. So what this program really did was targeted 4 to 5 zones laterally on either side of the central zone, and that was really testing geological theories. I'm really getting a flavour of how the mineralisation is going in those areas, and you'll see some of that information come through on the results that we'll put out, as I said, within the next fortnight.
Okay, I'll follow up with you on those. Let's talk about that Egina JV with De Grey Mining. Now, De Grey has a big drill program going on here. I believe they're proposed to drill about 28,000 meters. It says in the news release a couple weeks ago that there are 2 drill rigs turning. Give us an overview of this program and what the overall goal is.
Yeah, so just a reminder to everyone, the Bella project, fantastic project discovery by the Novo exploration team. We've done a great farming joint venture arrangement with De Grey. They have to spend a minimum of $7 million. And if they elect to continue on, it's all up $25 million Australian over 4 years. So a really great opportunity for our shareholders. And again, reminding people it's only 25 kilometres away from the processing plant planned to be at De Grey's Hemi Gold project, which is 11.5 million ounces. So location is really good. The geology is really good. And as part of that joint venture arrangement, De Grey, and I always think about it as on behalf of the Novo shareholders, because they've committed to the farming. They've had those 2 drill rigs spinning for the last 3 to 4 months, which is very exciting. We've put out a little bit of preliminary results. We look forward to other results. The work that's happening at the moment, it's a big system, which we've talked about before, well over 20 square kilometres. It will take a long time. Could take another year or so before we really nail the high priority, high grade areas of it. But at the moment, the work that we're seeing is encouraging in terms of what De Grey saw in the Hemi project. And it took De Grey many years before they found the central core. And we're looking forward to the same success with De Grey and that Egina joint venture. And what's really pleasing, we've got a great relationship with De Grey. Our exploration teams work really well. So everyone is feeding off each other.
So, Mike, this might be hard to answer, but does De Grey think this could be a whole other Hemi project in terms of size, or could this fit in somehow else in a satellite mine operation or a extra feed, higher grade type of operation?
Yeah, good question. So in more recent times, De Grey have been very clear of the strategic benefit of this farming. They plan now to put in a second processing hub in the western part of their project. And that processing hub will only be 5 kilometres away from the Bella project. So that's why it has a strategic element to De Grey. They wouldn't be spending this sort of money in the ground unless they really believed that they were seeing the same type of geology that they see at Hemi. So for them, it's an exciting piece of work that has a long-term strategic play. And that's really great for Novo shareholders. It'd be very hard for us to commit such big funds to a big system, and that joint venture is absolutely phenomenal for us.
Okay, well, you do have some other drilling coming up too, right? At that Balla Balla project. So right now we have Belltopper results that were just released, those resampling of historic holes. Nunyerry North, we're waiting for drill results. Egina will produce drill results. And now Balla Balla, what's the plan at this project to drill?
Yeah, so the plan for the rest of the year, people should see us do some field work on some areas that we haven't been to before. And one of those, per our announcement 2 weeks ago, is at Malaga and Stratton's. So we'll go back there. We haven't had a chance to be there for a long time. We'll go back there and do field work, rock chip sampling and mapping, and really build up exploration drill targets. And then in the meantime, in Q4, we aim to be back at Balla Balla, and we're really expecting that we will clear the hurdles for drilling, which is all about agreements with the traditional owners. So we do expect to see some positive results there in terms of access, and that will allow us to go drilling sometime in Q4 this year. And again, a reminder, Balla Balla, why do we like Balla Balla? When you look at the picture in the website and our releases, Balla Balla is around the Shoal Shear. The Shoal Shear is very much parallel to the Mallina Shear. The Mallina Shear was the great generator for the Hemi project. And so we're looking for that analogy that as the Shoal Shear also carried gold fluids like the Mallina Shear, leading to a good gold mineralisation. But it's early days. You know, this is great greenfields exploration. No one has done this work before. So it's exciting to us. So everyone should look out for updates on when that drilling will happen. And then obviously towards the back end of this year, there'll be some results released.
So, Mike, would you or Novo broadly entertain JVing some of these other projects out? Because, look, as much as we've talked about 4 different projects here, one already under JV, the company has other assets as well. So are you going down that road to work up any of these projects in a JV sense?
Our focus has always been, let's build the projects up and then on a case-by-case basis, really understand what's the pathway to value. So really, Besha, from the day that we discovered the mineralisation there, we knew it was very similar to Hemi. We knew it had great strategic value to De Grey. And we've got this great joint venture where they're spending $25 million over 4 years to get 50%. So it really is a case-by-case basis, depending on where the deposit is, what the size would be, what is the infrastructure there, and again, are there other people that has a strategic benefit that they might really want to invest a lot of money into these projects. So it is a case-by-case basis. We're not afraid to develop projects. We just don't have any on the books at the moment, but it is looking for the best pathway to shareholder value.
So, Mike, let's talk about funding then. Money in the bank for the company to move forward these projects, all the exploration that is ongoing and that's planned. Where does the company stand?
Yeah, so at the moment we have around 10 to $11 million Australian, so that's good. That'll allow us to do the work for the remainder of the year. And then obviously we still have a big portfolio of our 2 unlisted investments in E3D and San Cristobal. We really do hope in the first part of next year that we'll be able to monetize those and we can use those funds to do other things. Behind the scenes, we're definitely looking at other gold projects in Australia that we think fit our portfolio. So we're definitely doing all of that work because, as people know, gold is very good pricing at the moment. Hasn't necessarily flowed down into explorers, but we see the gold exploration is a great way to push forwards with value for shareholders. And I do note the liquidity on the TSX still remains good.
So, Mike, what's the environment like in Australia then? I talked to just so many North American focused companies, some of which do have some projects in Australia, but we heard so much about how the Australian companies were making better money mining. They had brought projects on at lower costs than some of their North American counterparts. But from what I've heard, some of that Australian market has also faded a little bit. What can you tell us about the environment in Australia and on the back of that, the availability of assets for you to pick up?
Yeah, definitely from my recent travels in Toronto and Vancouver, and then you compare that to Australia, across the board, we're definitely seeing a more subdued market for explorers and even gold explorers, despite the extremely high gold price. It is a great opportunity for people to invest in gold explorers. We are speculative investments, but the rewards are very high if we're successful. So you're seeing the same flavors in the TSX, portfolio or markets as the ASX. The trend is exactly there. If anything, there's a little bit more love for exploration, particularly gold in Australia. We have a long history of supporting gold exploration companies. Like elsewhere, greenfields exploration in Australia has been subdued. It's really come down in the last 5 years, and you see that across the world. So when you talk about new projects, that is one of the challenges. It's very hard to find projects that are advanced exploration projects or projects that Novo can get involved with using our great technical team to advance. So we'll keep looking for those projects. We're very, very disciplined in our approach. We're looking for those projects that have the flavour to develop to at least 1 million ounces in reserve. So that's one of our big filters. We'll keep focusing on those, but we are very disciplined in the type of projects we think we should bring into our portfolio.
All right. Hey, Mike, thank you very much for this overview. I know I've been getting a lot of emails asking for an update. So we went through the projects that have a lot of work that's either been completed on them, some of the news that is upcoming. I will post a link to the Novo Resources website so y'all can read over the recent news releases. We spent a lot of time on the 2 most recent ones, so please read over those. There are some other projects that the company has in their portfolio that they will work up, so feel free to send me any questions you have on those assets, and I will follow up with Mike as we get some more news, especially drill results. So, Mike, thank you very much for your time. I'll follow up with you on the back of some more news.
Thanks very much, Corey.